Oh boy, okay. I need everybody to look at this. We've got birds chirping and an impending sunrise. This is so surreal. Okay. Is this in focus? Oh my gosh. So, do you ever question? Do you ever start doing something and think it's a great idea, and then you totally question every decision you ever made? Hi, hello, my name is Taylor. I'm an aspiring playwright, screenwriter, and novelist. I just finished a first draft of my YA Rivals to Lovers romance novel, and now I'm at the tail end of a science fiction fantasy draft that's taken me over a year. I've been writing this entire project by hand. I've been writing a lot of it when I first wake up in the morning, and today I was thinking I'd get up at 4:30 and try and finish it. Oh boy, okay. I feel like I look like a ghost hunter. Of course, it's a little after 4:30 now, because I went to set up my camera and the SD card was full, and this battery is almost out of battery, so I don't know how well this is gonna go, and these little microphones that I have are maxing out on the audio, so hopefully you can even hear this, but I am going to try and finish this novel. I ran out of pages in the 4th notebook, and now I'm writing on spare paper and sticking it in the back. So I'm going to try and write a spare page. I'm gonna, I guess, put on some music. I don't know. I'm a 5 a.m. person when I can be, but 4:30 is got me a little like, ooh, like, I don't know. I'm wide awake, but I'm also asleep. I'm going to get my space set up and let's start the weirdest, longest, craziest writing sprint I think I might have ever done. Supplies for this session. We have this dictionary of English language that has no words that I am ever looking for. We have our thesaurus. We have the notebook that I have been using for spare paper. And of course, we have the notebook that we are going to finish the story in. So I'm at least a good 5 minutes into this, and I just realized that I'm standing. Just in the middle of a sentence, I went, wait a minute, my desk is in standing mode, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I think I'm gonna finish this session out standing, because sitting that long feels like I don't know, a long time. I don't know, I'm rambling. This is weird to write this early in the morning. 5 a.m. Battery's about to go in the camera. Ooh. Okay. Time for the next page. Let's see if I can. The other day I started to cut one and then it came right out. Oh, yep, here we go. Nope. Come on, it came right out the other day. I love this notebook. Not close enough. Alright, page 2. I should be marking these, so this would actually be 3. I need everybody to look at this. This is a lo-fi thing, but look at the picture of the macchiato and the caramel stuffed brownie. It's way too early for this at 5:30 in the morning. Oh, I don't know, that looks good. Okay, this lighting is eerie. Wait, what if I got a flashlight? Ooh, okay. Oh, that's so Bo Burnham. It's now about 5:30. I did 3 pages. By that, I mean there's two pages of paper on my desk. One of them has both sides with writing on them. The other one has one side, so it still has one side remaining, but I'm counting that as 3 pages, so I think I'm going to do another 20 to 30 minute session, because I can't do hours at this hour. I'm going to move my desk to sitting, and let's do another 20 to 30 minutes. I like browsing the different sessions on YouTube, so let's see what I can find. Oh, I just realized that my laptop's on my chair. Okay, gotta do a little rearranging here. Okay, here comes the chair. Oh gosh, hit this one. This is so fun. This is so fun. Slow jazz. And it's 43 minutes, so it's a little bit longer, but let's do it. Pretty sure I just heard something howl outside. Okay, this feels cozy. I should have been doing jazz music from the beginning. This feels really cozy. Another page. Here we go. Phew, okay. Page 5. I think at 6 a.m. I gotta make some tea. That's related though. Words. Words. How many times can I reference Bo Burnham? I should keep the camera like this when I'm making random commentary. I'm procrastinating. I get up at 4:30 in the morning to procrastinate. Nope. We're writing now. Nature update. I'm about 15 minutes into the sprint, and it's 5. It's almost 6. It's 10 of 6, but the birds just started chirping. I'm gonna get to catch the sunrise too. It's starting, I can start to see outside a little bit, but the sun's not coming up yet. We've got birds chirping and an impending sunrise. Back with another update. It is 6:20. Doggo woke up, had to go for a walk. I just made myself a vanilla tea with some almond milk and grabbed some of these biscuits. They're all a little broken, but that's okay. Oh, here's one that's not broken. Biscuit. So, some tea and biscuit action, and back to page 6. I'm not gonna finish in this morning sprint. I know I'm gonna have to do more, but we're finishing this. I'm fairly confident that I'll finish the book this weekend. This is a pretty good head start. My brain was a little fuzzy when I first started, but I'm feeling more awake now, and happy to have the tea and the biscuits. So let's keep writing. Next page. My tea is still really hot, but I was able to dip my biscuits in it. This page is going to come right now because it was the other side. Look at that. It's the most beautiful page of the morning. All the pages are beautiful though. Page 7. It's now 6:30. Also, the sun isn't so much rising as it's just getting bright out. But I'm making a time lapse. Second sprint music thing, whatever you want to call it, is done. So I'm going to close it out with this vinyl jazz cafe. Sounds like fun. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. It is now 7:15. I couldn't see the other hand on the clock. It is 7:15. I am about a quarter of a way through the 9th page. I think this is a good pausing point because I know what I want to write next, which I find is helpful when getting back into another writing session. So 9 pages in a way doesn't feel like a lot because the notebook I've been writing in that amount of time I probably would have done more pages, but these pages I feel like I can fit more words onto even though they're smaller, if that makes sense. Maybe they're a little longer, I don't know. It looks like more words, but I don't know. At the end of that, I would say by 6:30 or so, I was going, oh, that wasn't so bad. I was no longer questioning every decision I've ever made in my life, which is always a good sign. I've got some tea, it's now at drinking temperature, and the sun rose. Hopefully the time-lapse came out good, and yeah, I'm gonna go do a couple things and have some breakfast before we get back to writing and hopefully finishing this novel. I haven't even comprehended the idea of finishing this novel. I just finished a novel, and this one feels even weirder to be finishing. So we're gonna think about that. We're gonna worry about that later. So right now I'm going to, like I said, eat breakfast, tidy up, take a step back, let my arm, which by the way is sore from working out, so that's a great way to kick off handwriting. I'm gonna give it a break, and I will catch you in a bit. Alright, let's hope that this works. Honestly, this mic is tapping out so much that I should just keep it back there. Hello again. It is now just about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I have not written anything since our 4:30 to 7 a.m. sprint ordeal. When I tell you that I crashed out after that sprint, I felt the effects of it this morning, undoubtedly so. Which is because I get, it's not uncommon for me to get up at 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, basically anywhere's in there, and so, I don't know though. This took me out. This knocked me out. I kid you not, I was out of the house this morning, and I looked down at the ground and thought maybe I should just lie down in the grass here. I just took a 20-minute guided power nap. I don't do that often. That was my second one, and I think, add it to the list of things I need to do more often, especially when I'm feeling like this. I am feeling a lot better now, though. I have a little bit of a headache, but honestly, I'll take it to the fatigue. I was crashing. I really was. So what I'm gonna do now is I am in the mood, I am ready to write, I am in the zone. I just got recommended this playlist called Golden Brown Vibes, which has about 27 minutes and 25 seconds of music. So I think I'm going to use that to do the next little writing sprint and jump back into writing. I've got my dictionary, my thesaurus, my notebook, and the notebook that we're gonna put the loose sheets of notebook in. So let's go write. Alright, I am really in the groove now. I'm in the zone. I finished out another sheet, both sides. I had stopped about a quarter of the way down the page this morning, so I finished that, started a new chapter, and I'm now halfway through the first side of the next page of paper, and I am in the zone. I just finished that last playlist there, and now I've started one that is a folklore dark fairy tale playlist to run away to the fields. We're going for vibes today. We're going for vibes. So I'm in the zone, I'm feeling good about this, so let's keep writing. Alright, genuine question. Do we think that my vlogging skills have peaked? I'm not saying peaked in this vlog, I'm saying in prior vlogs. Have they peaked and now I'm here? I don't know, this vlog feels a little funky, it feels a little out of place. I've been giving not the bare minimum, but I don't know, I'm trying here. It's now almost 2 o'clock. It's 1:51
in the afternoon, and I only did that 25-minute sprint today, but I'm about 3 pages away in that second notebook from finishing typing all that up, so I think I might finish that and then see where that leaves us in terms of this. I've been thinking about how I want to do this next chapter, and then once I finish that chapter, that's it, because there's one more, I think 1 or 2 more after that, and then it's done. It's gonna be, getting through this chapter is gonna be difficult, so I think rather than finishing the novel this weekend, the goal is gonna be getting through, at least getting started with that chapter. Do you like how my goals get smaller and smaller the more that I talk? I would like to at least start the chapter. I'd like to start it. It's gonna be a lot of information that's going to be based on the character and his psychology and his past and his history and how it's informed his decisions, and so I need to kind of work a lot of that out because that's a lot of the background information that I haven't built yet. It's, really, it's new to me as well. And obviously I will elaborate it and fix it up and make it readable and more decent in the next 75 drafts, but I need to get something on the page. So that's the goal. So I think I'm going to start with finishing typing this up. I'll probably watch an episode of Suits. Or white collar. No, it's a Suits kind of day. I'm feeling lawyery. So I'm going to do that. Then we'll see where we are. For reference, this is the stuff that I was writing back in April. I am now typing up.
You're not supposed to be anywhere near this case. The forum clerk gets wind of this.
And why, Harvey? I shut down the star witness on the other side. They're not going to be pissed if you give me a medal. What makes you think?
Alright, the second notebook is officially typed up. This was the notebook that lasted from December 2024 to the end of April 2025. We are currently on 352 pages of the 2 notebooks combined, plus I believe this includes what I wrote on the computer in November, which was another 50,000 words, which brings us to a total word count of 103,920 words. So I'm very pleased with that because I have been very much procrastinating typing up those notebooks. Now I think I'm going to take a little dance break. Why not celebrate? Why not have a silly little Sunday dance time? Very much been enjoying these episodes of Suits, and so I'm gonna go dance, and then maybe we'll write. We should be writing. We should always be writing. But we're gonna dance. Excuse the fact that I am now a sweaty mess, but if you are a theater kid and you need your fix, Joseph Corella. My gosh, I love this man's choreography tutorials. I just did 2 of them. It was great. It was a great experience. I feel awesome. So definitely, theater kids, check this guy out, do a dance. He has modifications, he brings you through the choreography, it's so much fun. And so now I'm gonna try and maybe start the next chapter. I don't know. Do something that scares you every day? That's kind of the way that we're going right now. I'm gonna do something that scares me, and something that scares me is this chapter.
So, what if I just kept filming until I finished the novel? It is currently 5:20 or so, 5:25 on this lovely Tuesday. Just woke up. No, I did not write anything related to this project yesterday, which was Monday, but today is Tuesday. We are back on that early morning wake-up cycle, 5:25. Let's start the morning in the best way with a writing sprint. Okay. Alright, it's break time. There are 5 minutes or so on the clock. I would say that was a pretty productive 25-minute pomodoro sprint, especially to start the morning off. It felt a lot longer, but it also felt not in a bad way a lot longer. It felt like I got a lot of things done, I finished that chapter that I was really scared about, started the new chapter, did about a page of that. Then I've been using these Pilot Dr. Grip ballpoint pens. I love them. I started using the gel ones, then I ran out of ink for the gel ones, so I bought a pack of these because I bought replacement ink, but I bought it for the ballpoint pens and it doesn't fit in the gel casing. So I've been using these Pilot Dr. Grips. This one just ran out of ink, so I grabbed my backup and it's also out of ink. So then I grabbed this pen, which is just like a Bic Gelosity, and I learned that it's basically also out of ink and the tip is crusted over with dried ink. So then I grabbed for another pen that I can't even find now, and I think it's also almost out of ink, so apparently I need to order some ink refills or go find some and like go through my pen inventory big time. So that was a fun way to end the sprint, but like I said, went surprisingly well. And now I'm taking a little break, and then I'll probably, I might do one more. It's about 6. I have to play things out because sometimes I like to do a little workout movement in the morning. So I might do workout, then another sprint, or I might do sprint and then workout. I have to play that out. But sprint 1 is done. Very happy with how that went. Deciding I should have just made a section in this moleskin notebook for this book, because now there's 18 pages about, I believe, so it's about 9 loose sheets. So I'm going to clip those in the back and then just start a section here, because this is, surprise, it's turning out to be longer than I thought it would. So that is the update, the 6 a.m. update. The 6 a.m. on a Tuesday update. Alright, time now is 6:40. I am now sweaty, but pro tip here coming from J.J. Neiman, kind of stealing this from him, but it's very true. Listen to Hamilton when you're doing anything that requires any sort of exertion. Honestly though, the other day I started putting it on working out, and I did it again this morning, and I don't know, it gives you superpowers. It's great music. I feel like if you were in your Hamilton phase in 2015 when it first came out, every couple years, is it just a part of the human experience to fall back into that? Because I feel that that's what happens to me, and I don't know if it's because it's the 10-year anniversary that this phase is re-emerging again, but I don't know, it's great. Now that that is done, I think I will try another writing sprint, and then there's some stuff I've got to do, so I'll probably check back in with you. If not at the end of this writing sprint, then tonight, hopefully, if I write, because yesterday I didn't. I wrote other things, though, I promise, but yeah, let's go write, and I'll check in with you later. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Actually, it's Thursday. Which means, if you've been following along, that I did not write anymore or work anymore on this lovely science fiction fantasy project since last filming, which I believe might have been Tuesday morning, maybe Monday. It's been days. So, bit of a busy day today. I've got like 15 items on a checklist in front of me here, but nevertheless, I am determined to get back onto the, or get back, I don't know a phrase for that, but I am determined to get back on track. I am determined to get back on track with this project. I am determined to write in this project today. I am determined to not devote all of my time to making legal briefs of cases that may or may not contribute to my historical fiction novel that I'm starting. Literally might end up having nothing to do with it, but research is research, and this is my first time researching for a historical fiction novel anyways. That's not what you're here for. So, the plan today, the plan tonight, the plan this afternoon, somewhere's in there. Evening? Evening's a nice time. I want to work on this project. I am determined to write, and I am filming this to hold myself to it. So now you are a witness. That's the update. It is officially official. I am committing myself to this. I told you, filming it this morning makes a difference. So it is just about 9:30 at night, and I am committed to writing at least one page, just to keep the commitment up, just to hold myself accountable, just to keep the good vibes flowing. We are going to write one page today. That is what I am holding myself to, and that is what I am going to do. So let's do it. It is official. Just about 10 minutes of writing later, we have done another full handwritten page of the project. I would like to give a shout out to Harvey Specter's office ambiance. I don't know if you can hear that, it just got super quiet when I stuck the microphone towards it, but major shout out to that. And overall, as hard as that was in the beginning, and as much as I was just ready to let my motivation crash out, I am really, really happy with the fact that I did that, and I'm really pleased because I got back into the momentum the more that I wrote, and that is exactly why I wanted to do this, not only to hold myself accountable for my writing, but in order to prove to myself, that a couple days off is okay and that I can get back into a project after a couple of days, especially if I'm trying to, I guess now, just vlog this until it's done. So, pleased with that. One page is one page, and one page is a good thing. So, I am resting on my laurels, and I will see you presumably on Friday, tomorrow, to write more, and if not, I'm gonna... it's really gonna be, hey, it's next Monday now, but I don't know, we'll see. One page. That was a good thing. That was a good thing. Thank you, Harvey Specter. Good morning. Just about 6:40. Happy Friday. Just short of 6:45, and this is my favorite weather in the world, I think. Early fall. Everything's bright, the air feels very fresh, the birds are still chirping. I am in my glory, but just woke up, and I'm thinking we start the morning with the writing sprint. I'm very much feeling in go mode with this project because of yesterday. So, let's write.
Update time, I did a 20-minute writing sprint, wrote about 2 pages, I think, maybe about 3. I could check and tell you, but I'm gonna keep talking. Feeling good about the direction this is going, especially after doing all that planning, and I'm realizing that this is turning into more of a mini movie now that I'm on my second SD card, because the first one ran out of memory this morning because I've been filming this now for multiple weeks. Let's do a food review. I've got to spice up the content. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being, so I've got to spice up the content. I ran out to the store after that writing sprint, and I found these pumpkin spice oat bites by this Bobo's company. I've had a couple of their products before. Also not sponsored. Also open to opportunities. I'm not that cool. Alright, so I thought we could give it a try though, because it's fall, and fall means it's time for pumpkin flavored products, and I love pumpkin flavored products. I'm a writer, so I love fall. I think it's a part of my DNA to enjoy this season. It smells really good. Oh, it's in the aftertaste. So the initial bite is pretty mild, but the aftertaste, it's like a breath of pumpkin spice. You kind of get some cinnamon, little allspice. I will say I like that they're not super sweet. In the past, I've tried the peanut butter and jelly oat disc. That's not the right word for it, but that was really, really sweet. Whereas this, not so much. And as someone who doesn't like super duper sweet things, I do appreciate that about this. I like the size. It feels convenient. Convenient for on the go. Or for when you're taking a break from writing. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then I think I should do more writing. I think I should do that. Maybe another 20-minute sprint? That sounds good. That's a good plan. Okay, 20 minutes on the clock once I finish this pumpkin spice bite.
You know, I told myself that I wasn't ever doing this 4:30 thing again, at least not for writing this book. And yet, here we are at 4:31 on this Thursday, September 4th, getting up at this such hour, sorry, still getting used to forming sentences, to write a science fiction fantasy book. These are the times when I wonder what will come of these things when I've got these stacks of notebooks going at 4:30 in the morning. But here we are. Let's see. It's been a little bit since I last updated, but I have been writing. Let me give you the full update here. Oh, I wrote on the 2nd about a page. That's the update. Okay, so good day to catch up. I've been getting really productive using pomodoro sprints, but I've been applying that skill to other things that I need to do. So this is the morning, it's 4:30. The world is calling on me to write today. So, pitch black outside. Still feels like the middle of the night. But let's go write. I said that very slowly because I realized that it rhymed. But I'm going to start with a 25-minute pomodoro sprint to ease into things. Maybe I'll run a brush through my hair too. I'm kind of a mess at the moment. There's fantasy pomodoros. I didn't even know this. There's Skyrim ones. What? Break time, 25 minutes done. It's now 5:10. I wrote just about 2.5 pages. Ended up finishing chapter, what did I say this was? XL, guess that's 50. So I ended up finishing chapter 48. I am now on chapter 49. So now, after this chapter, there's 2 more that I need to finish in order to finish this draft. I feel like this chapter will be done fairly quickly compared to some of the others. I've got a pretty good idea of it in my head, which is funny because I didn't even know it existed a few days ago before doing this planning, but I've got 5 minutes now, which is probably about 2.5. So I am going to get ready for the next sprint. I think my plan is to write until 6, and then, like last time, that's about going to be my gap. Sprint number 2 is done. That sprint felt like it went by really, really fast. I am thoroughly impressed with that, but let's see how much we wrote. Okay, we wrote just about 3 pages in that sprint. I feel like I've got a good flow going with chapter 49, right? This is chapter 49. Yeah, I forgot to mention I finished the Bic round stick that I was working with. It ran out of ink during the last sprint. Now we get to put it in our shadow box. I worked a little bit with one of my Pilot pens after that, but then I decided I wanted to try and clear the ink out of another pen. This is a Papermate Inkjoy 300 RT 1M. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but this is a blue ink pen here. So I'm gonna finish that one up, but I'm going to enjoy my 5-minute break that is now fleeting, and then I think we will fit one more sprint in this hour. It's 20:40, so yep, so it will be one more sprint in this hour. We're going, we're doing it. This is happening. Okay, it is once again update time, and I ended up writing more for 30 minutes than 25. The timer ended and I kept going because I really feel like I'm on a roll with this chapter and I'm very excited about it. But now I am definitely ready for a break, so let's see how much we wrote. So this time I wrote just about 4 pages, and since I've been averaging 2 to 3, I feel like that shows just about how well this writing session went. This one flew by too. This 4:30 for some reason was a lot easier than the first time that I did 4:30. I feel a lot less like a walking zombie. It is now 6:15. I am going to go work out, maybe. I don't know, I'm taking a break from writing, but I am very proud with our progress this morning. I don't even know. Let's see, that was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we write about 10 pages this morning in our 4:30 a.m. 3 25-minute writing sprint session. The fact that I'm almost done with this first draft is still surreal. It's still surreal. I can't believe this. I can't believe we just did this. This is fantastic at the moment. Things are going better than I thought they would in terms of at least this 4:30 writing sprint. This was a surprise. I swear this isn't planned, it just keeps happening. Welcome back, it's the next day. It is Friday, September 5th at 4:30. Now 4:33 or so, 4:33. This morning my dog decided she wanted to go outside, and I said, well, I guess it's time to get up and write. So, in good news, we are in an exciting spot in the book. I was teetering on the idea of writing a little bit more yesterday because I guess there were 4 sprints in that video, if I recall correctly. And so I thought maybe I would do the final sprint to close out the video, but instead, the Skyrim video, not this video. This video's not done until the book's done. This thing's a movie at this point. But, anyways, we are at an exciting point. We are at chapter 48. 2 chapters remaining. We're in a good flow with this chapter at the moment. We've got a good bit of time to write. And let's take it from there. Oh, I like that. Sprint number 1 of the day just ended. It is now 5:20 or so. I had to take a little break in between. I didn't even realize it ended because instead of a bell or a chime, it went to an ad and then just silence of a crackling fire. I don't know if you could hear that, but that's what it sounds like now. 1, 2... nearly 3 pages done in this sprint. This is going to be a good time to go back to our planning and to see, let's see, we're here. So if I finish this chapter, then I think it's the last chapter. What? Okay, we're not. we're not gonna think about that. We're gonna think about finishing this chapter, which I think I had the number wrong. I think this is chapter 49. If this book ends up being an even 50 in the first draft, that would be really cool. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh my gosh. I'm getting ahead of myself right now, but we're really almost done with the last chapter? I don't know. We're on 49 right now. Let's focus on that. We gotta finish up 49 in the second Pomodoro sprint. Okay, it's now nearly 6 o'clock and I just finished the second sprint. I keep thinking about how I was tearing pages out of the back of this, and now it's most of this notebook. So I started with this first sticky note here. Once I stopped tearing out the pages, this first sticky note is where I started in the book, so the rest of this is just random stuff. Then this is the planning. This is the stuff in the back that I didn't end up tearing out. So I've written quite a bit. Getting an ad for a sauna. I've written essentially this much. I've written this much in this notebook, plus the 19 or so, which would be 8, because it was double-sided, about 8 pages that I tore out. And I thought, the reason I didn't start a new notebook for this 5th notebook for this project, I was convinced that I said, oh, it's just a few more pages. Just a few more. Yeah, right. Anyways, I am in what I think is the tail, yeah, I'm in the tail end of chapter 49. This is so surreal because this is the longest that I've worked on a novel draft. It's now been over a year. Doing these 4:30 things, doing these 4:30 a.m. wake-ups actually feels quite special. Getting to do this and committing to this way in this project has been a wild experience. It really has. It's been a wild experience. To think how much I have to type up. Oh my goodness, but we're not done yet. We have to get through 49, and then we have to get through 50, which I might have to do a little more extensive planning on because some big things happen, but I have to figure out how. And this would only be surface level because this whole thing is getting reworked in the second draft. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna get ready for sprint number 3. Okay, update time. I just did a 30-minute sprint because I ended up writing through the 5-minute break. And now I can say I'm this close to the end. I just have to connect 2 major plot points. I've got point A and my point B, but I don't have the bridge in between them. So I think I'm gonna have to do some planning before my next writing session, but now that I've written for nearly an hour nearly an hour and a half, I think I need to step away from this for a bit because I want the ending to feel proper. I know I'm going to rework it a lot, but I want it to not feel as though I'm just racing to the finish line, just grabbing at straws, choosing a random ending. I would much rather have it feel fulfilling, have it feel proper, have something to go off of in my revisions and in my rewrites. How many pages did I write? I don't know, I didn't keep track this time, but I am on chapter 50. I finished chapter 49. I am on chapter 50. That is why I want to pay so close attention to the plotting in this part, because this is the final chapter. And that's wild. That's wild. So, as I said, I'm going to close the notebook now, take a little break, and maybe I'll do more writing in this today. I think it depends. I have to do some planning first, and so I think it depends on if I can figure out how I want to go from point A to point B. But we might. I can't even say it. I can't even say that we might finish the novel this weekend. What? That's so crazy. That's so crazy. That's so crazy, but it feels like it could very well happen. So, break time. 4:30 a.m. number 3 went rather well, if I do say so myself. And I will either catch you sometime this evening or this weekend when we may or may not finish the novel. What? This is so surreal. Good morning on this Monday at 5:25. I did not work on the science fiction fantasy project at all this weekend. Yay! I do think in the long run it was a good thing because I do believe that I did need to step away from this because this morning I got up and went, oh wait, I think I've got a link to get me from point A to point B in this, I'm going to call it a finale, in this last chapter, which was essentially the problem at the beginning of the weekend. That was the thing that I couldn't figure out. So now I want to experiment with that a little bit. I want to get writing. I'll just do a straight through 45 minutes till about 6, and we'll see where we get with this last chapter. Honestly, I think the world would have been a different place if I started every morning with battle fantasy music. It's quite the thing to listen to at 5:30 in the morning. Here we go. Update time, it is 6 o'clock. I just wrote for about 30 minutes, give or take, and wrote just over 3 pages. I have definitely got point A down, and I'm getting through the bridge, so all that's really left is the other half of this bridge into point B. I'd almost even say less than the other half of the bridge, because I basically have that set up. No, actually it's the other half. It's early. It's the other half of the bridge, as I'm calling it, into point B, and then we have point B, and we're done. So this felt like a good session. I felt like once I had that point figured out, I knew what I was trying to say, which is why I was able to write so much. About a page every 10 minutes or so, and so I am pleased with that. I feel like I've got a good point to pick up on when I next have a writing sprint, which I would say hopefully would be today, but I don't know. I don't want to make those kinds of promises after this weekend, but I am feeling good about it. I am feeling good about where we are near the end. I have things that I know I want to add and change in the second draft that I've been making note of, but the goal here is to just plow through to the end, get a first draft, get some words on the paper. So I'm gonna go work out and I will catch you later. And that sort of rhymed. The bad knockoff of the modern Shakespeare, sitting at his desk, slowly hacking away at a first draft. Okay, this is more than enough. I'm gonna go work out. Right back to it. 5:20. Alright, good morning vlog. Happy Wednesday. I almost just said October. September 10th. And this day is September 10th. I have had a bit of a few couple days, which is why I have not been writing and not been vlogging. I've been working on some other stuff in addition to dealing with some family obligations, and so we're back. Last night I had the absolute privilege of attending a online author event where Dan Brown spoke about his brand new book, The Secret of Secrets. The release date was yesterday, and this was an event hosted by Barnes & Noble and Waterstones at the Barnes & Noble Union Square with the option to attend online, which is what I did. And I gained so much insight from the event. It was lots of fun. And the moderator asked really wonderful questions, and I grabbed a notepad and started scribbling stuff down. Now I have this, like, page of notepad paper that's crammed with questions and little comments and things that he said, all about learning about your characters. And he talked a lot about his craft, he talked about character relations. He actually had a really interesting comparison between writing a novel and writing a symphony, which I really enjoyed, and so it was a very, very inspiring and helpful night as someone trying to do a quarter of the stuff that he does. But now this is a good morning to write. This is in fact a good morning to plan the rest of the chapter and write. So I'm going to try and hack away at that chapter planning for chapter 50. And then we will write, I think. I'm going to look at it. Maybe I'll suddenly go, aha. And I'll just go, we'll write. But let's see. Okay, I don't think it will take a whole page of planning, but I do think I want to jot down a couple of notes just to get my head in the right space. And I think I'm going to write down our starting point first. Alright, there we go. Well, most of the page actually, but that's okay. I will just continue the chapter down here. I've got 3 different plot points happening between 2 sets of characters leading into this big final moment. The tough thing about being an author sometimes is trying to decide what you do with a character. It's really weird to think that you're essentially controlling these people's lives, and you have to think, what do you do with them? But at the same time, another thing that I found really insightful about Dan Brown's talk last night, because I'm not gonna shut up about that for a bit, is how much he talked about the importance of serving your readers. He said something about how for every 10 words in one of his books, there was once 100, and for every one thing you're trying to say, you start with 10, but then you have to use a process of elimination and a process of rewriting. He said writing is essentially rewriting in order to decide what it is that is actually serving the readers to make that good experience, because you are deciding what experience someone has with your book. So I was so blown away by that, but we will decide some of that stuff in the rewrites. I just want to get the main ideas through in this first draft. And I don't know if we're gonna finish it this morning. We honestly might finish this at a random morning. It's by 7 a.m. So we'll see. We might finish this at a random Wednesday. But we're not gonna get anywhere if we don't write, so let's do it. Today's music comes from the School of Plot, the battle scene writing music. Let's do this. I'm not going in for a pomodoro, I'm just doing this. Oh, actually I was using this pen. I forgot. Update time. It is now just about 6:45. I'm not gonna get into specifics. There's little dots on the clock, but I'm not gonna try and count them and start reading them. Let's instead talk numbers about how much I just wrote within what I believe was an hour. How long was it? So I wrote for an hour. There were times where it felt like a very, very long hour, and I started to wonder as I was looking at the clock, is this another playlist? Is it on repeat? How long is this hour? But I feel like I got a lot done. No, I did get a lot done. I ended up getting through the first block of plot points. I have 3 in this final chapter, and the first block is complete. There were 3 in that first block. So those are now done, leaving me with the 2 final fairly major plot points. They get bigger as they go, like a staircase, as I think they should. I need to learn more about plot structure. Okay. On another note, if you are ever looking for a pen that will last you quite a while, this Papermate Inkjoy 300 RT 1M, don't ask me what that means, just blue ink ballpoint pen, has given me quite a bit of ink for writing. I have written at least 10 to 20 double-sided pages with this. That's a big difference in that range. I did stop and count them at that point. At least 20 double-sided pages with this pen, and this is not a new pen. I am thoroughly impressed by that. Not sponsored. I just really like pens. But regardless, we got through 3 plot points, and we wrote just about 7 pages, so I am feeling very good about that. And I reckon today might be the day. And that still feels like a very weird thing to say. It still doesn't feel real. And I think it's not gonna feel real until I have the typed version of this. So I'll see you all in another 6 months. But today might very well be the day that this happens. This next plot section has 1 point in it, 1 big plot point, and then the final one has 2 plot points, and that one I feel is going to be, not to jinx myself, but probably the easiest one to write, because it's been the one in my head for the longest amount of time, if not possibly since the beginning. Yes, this has been in my head since the beginning of this book, when I was doing initial, even just visual planning, making storyboards and inspiration boards. This plot point has been with me throughout it all, so this will be the easiest one to write. All I have to get through is this second plot point, which is going to be a little bit harder. I did end up finishing with a potential chapter break. This might turn into 51 chapters for just the first draft, just the first draft, but it might end up not being a clean 50, it might be 51. I'm trying to decide the flow, the length, how to keep people engaged, so that is where I am at, and I might do a little bit more writing just to carry myself over till 7 and see where we go from there, because I'm sort of on a roll with this. I kind of want to try and finish it on this lovely random Wednesday, so we'll give it a go, and I will see you when I see you, and you will find out in a good second or so. Oh. Okay, I'm calling that the 10-minute power page, because that's basically what that was, but if you couldn't tell, I was kind of on a roll. Let's go make some writer fuel. Am I doing this right? Is this how it's supposed to look? No, here goes nothing. Away they go. Fingers crossed. Welcome back. It is 6:10 on a Thursday. This Thursday, the Thursday after yesterday, which was Wednesday. And I've actually got the tripod set up today, and you know what that means? It's a doozy of a day. We're nearing the finale of this book. First draft edition. I did not end up working on it more yesterday, but we did have a huge writing session yesterday morning, and I was pretty productive. The muffins actually came out edible. Yay! What can I say? So I have got up 3 hours of fantasy music compilation by a channel called Blue Turtle. This is what I started listening to in my 10-minute sprint yesterday. I've got it set at about the 2 hour mark because the song titles looked cool for this part of the writing process. So I'm going to put that on, I'm going to write, and we're gonna see where we get with this draft. I feel ready. I feel ready to advance this to the next steps. I feel ready to work. I feel ready to tell this story, to tell this the way that I intended it to be over a year ago when I first started collecting images and making character profiles and going, what the heck is world building? How do I do this? So let's carry this story to the finish line. Fingers crossed. Alright, it's 6:30 or so. I wrote a page-ish. Page and a half. Wrote a page and a half, and I'm feeling really antsy, and I would like to get up and move. So my determination to finish this project is going to have to be put on hold. I don't know. This is a tough part. I have one more tough little Lego piece to fit into the build before I can put in this grand finale that I've been planning. So I'm gonna go move, and I will catch you later, and hopefully we will hacksaw our way through this. That sounds so different than the way that I introduced this. I think we're getting to know the drill by now. It's 5:30 on a Friday, and welcome back to writing a sci-fi fantasy project first draft. I may have not finished this quite as quickly as I expected to, but I'm not mad at that, considering considering I have no deadlines because I am completely unpublished, completely unknown to the world as a writer. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I can work on getting this first draft to where I want it to be versus working on rushing something out and sending it off to someone with blurbs that say, oh, this will go here at some point, this will go here. I'm sure I'll be doing that. It would be an absolute privilege to be doing that one day, but for now, this is the way we're running the show, running the ship. I'm feeling ready, I'm feeling inspired. I am determined, despite saying I'm not running on deadlines, by this weekend, to have this finished. I've been thinking about the way that I want to wrap it up. I know I've been saying I've been helpful with kind of bridging the gaps between the plot points, but I think I've got at least a rough enough structure that I can do this. So without further ado, let's write. For this session, I'm bringing out another soundtrack by Blue Turtle. Oh my gosh. Okay, update time. I've been writing for an hour straight. The soundtrack I was listening to just ended. I am absolutely on a roll. I almost turned the camera back on as I was writing towards the end here because my breath was picking up and I was dashing the words on the page as fast as I could. I'm really in the heat of the moment here, and would have still been if the music hadn't ended, but I'm gonna pick another soundtrack. I got through I've bridged the gap, and I'm about 1% away from the ending. I started to almost tear up a little bit writing it because I know that I'm at that point, and it's really, really weird to think about. And it's really, really weird to think of how much work has gone into this, and to now think that I'm about to finish the last chapter of the first draft of this story that has in part consumed me for over a year now. So I'm gonna pick another soundtrack and see if we can finish this up. It's now 6:35. How many days have I spent saying this was the last day of writing the novel, that the novel was almost done, that we're nearing the end? This is getting long overdue. It is now Saturday morning. I did intend to finish it last night. However, I was really tired, and then I got nervous that it wasn't going to be as good as I wanted it to be, and I didn't want it to feel super rushed, and so now it's 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, and we're gonna write. I'm not gonna say we're finishing the novel. We're gonna write. We did it. We did it. It's done. It's done. Oh my gosh. What the heck? 45 minutes later. Welcome to the first draft of the sci-fi fantasy project. Oh my gosh. Oh, what?